more games since then. They really only released some stuff in Japan, mainly pachinko machines. Okay, so now we are back in stage number 3. We don't have to travel too far to get to the room that we have to get to in order to get to stage number 8. When you reach this room, we're actually going to be crawling up the ceiling here. Watch out for the turret on the ceiling. Then continue on and just keep following this path upside down. You'll get to this giant spike wall, which there's no way to travel up at the beginning of the game. However, we can travel up now because we can use the ceiling as our guide. And this will lead all the way around to eventually making it to the entrance to stage number 8. You don't even have to jump off the wall at any point. You'll lead right up and you can enter. So this is the final stage of the game. This is the final area, stage number 8. And it's really not too long of a path to get there. You just need a quick shortcut through some spikes, take a little bit of damage, and then head off to the right here. And now we're basically just going to be following this path long ways in order to make it to the boss. Now, of course, being the final area, they're going to try to send as many enemies or some other random stuff at you to try to take you out. However, they really aren't any different or any harder than anything we've already faced, so you just really have to focus on, like, the spikes, for example, right there, as more of the annoyance factor than anything else. Once again, I fell through the spikes just to take a little bit of damage, however, it really makes a nice shortcut through bypassing a lot of this level. Now, we have to travel through this whole spike corridor. Be careful of your health in case you land in the spikes a few times. Destroying these little enemies can give you some health sometimes, so it may be worth it to kill a couple of them to get a little bit of health back. As we continue through, though, some of the jumping's a little bit of a pain to try to exactly maneuver through this area, and you may want to use your missiles, if you have any, to try to help you along this path. Once we enter this room, we're going to head down. And we're going to go into the left door. Now this leads us to really our last long hallway of the game. It kind of looks like the inside of some kind of creature. You're not exactly sure what, but it really looks like you're inside the body of a giant alien or something. At least that's what it reminds me of as you're traveling through this place. Head down using the ceiling a little bit to try to make it a little bit faster and avoid some enemies. And then we're going to head through the door all the way at the end here. And there it is. Go through. We have this room to destroy all these rocks. It's very similar to the rooms that we dealt with in the volcano level of stage 7. However, at the end of it is our final door of the game. Get out of the ship, go inside, and now we have just a straightforward path to get to the boss. With the gun I have, you can easily get up there. Now it's time for the final 2 boss battles of the game. Now, with the gun I do have, all you want to do is you want to back up a little bit once the battle gets going. You're going to stand right here and then just start firing the button. That's it. Just start firing. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time to actually hit him, but with the gun upgrade to this point, you'll actually be able to easily hit him enough times, as well as nothing will be able to hit you. None of the little things that he has bouncing around the room will be able to hit you if you just stand here and keep firing that gun. It's definitely one of the easier boss battles in all of gaming. A lot of the bosses in this game are very challenging. However, this one, as well as the one we're going to be facing right after this one, are extremely easy because they don't necessarily do a whole lot and are pretty slowed down by our weapon. Now, once he's taken care of, we're going to have one last boss to deal with, I guess like the leader of the aliens, and he has a very easy strategy to defeat him as well. Once he appears, you want to hit him with a couple grenades if you want, but move to the right side of the screen, get him against the wall, and then just start mashing the grenade button. He can't hit you with his projectile whip weapon, and you can just keep mashing the grenade button to easily hit him. Just like I said before, one of the easiest final bosses in games, especially of the NES era, and considering this game's so difficult to get through, the final boss ends up being a cakewalk. He can't fight you, he can't hit you, and just takes a bunch of grenades to take him out. He is done for, he's going to explode, and then we're going to move on to the ending of the game. So here's our ending. We get to see all the way in the background, I guess the giant mountain that I guess we were in, literally collapse around itself. And then we're going to see it change into a nice colorful screen with all, bright colored green trees and a blue sky. Go a little bit to the right, and we can see our hero Jason sitting on top Sophia III with our pet frog, Fred. The only thing really interesting is the main character of Jason has brown hair, as we saw in the beginning of the game. However, the main character of Kane in Meta Fight, the Japanese version, has blue hair. I guess Sunsoft of America decided not to edit the sprites to change his hair from blue back to brown like it was in the beginning of the game. Now, as we go to our credit screen, we get to see, like, the badge, or, like, the actual, like, coat of arms for Sophia the Third. I always thought that was pretty cool to look at, like the red dragon on it. You can see Sophia the Third with Roman numerals next to it. And there you have it. That is Blaster Master. One of the best games of the NES era. It has a lot going for it. It was very difficult to get through, has some great stages, amazing music, and had some really good boss battles, other than really the final couple of bosses. The final two bosses are very easy to deal with. Now, of course, they're a lot harder if you just try to go at them straight up and try to actually maneuver around and don't try to get them stuck. However, we didn't use any glitches. We just stood there and shot them, and they were able to be taken out relatively easily. Now, you can see a lot of comparisons from this game to some of the other Sunsoft games with the health meters and all, the gun upgrading like Fester's Quest, and of course the great music, because the same composer worked on most of the Sunsoft games, like Batman, Gremlins 2. Naoki Kodaka did a great job with this soundtrack, like he did with all the other ones, and it ends up being a great game from Sunsoft. We see The End, we have a very thanks, not exactly sure what that's all about, and then we have presented by Sunsoft. And with that, that's going to wrap up another edition of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.